Have you ever held a tiny stitched hexagon and wondered where this timeless craft began? English paper piecing, or EPP as we call it, has its roots in 18th century England, where women used paper templates to create precise patchwork designs. It was called mosaic patchwork back then, a nod to the geometric beauty of the title work recreated in fabric, our little hexies. These templates were often made from recycled papers, letters, newspapers, even old ledgers hidden inside antique quilts. Today they offer a peek into lives lived centuries ago. This technique traveled across the ocean and became popular in colonial America. It was the perfect portable project done by candlelight during long journeys or while visiting with neighbors. What made it so enduring was its blend of precision and peace. Every stitch was a quiet rebellion against waste, a celebration of creativity, and a labor of love. This little piece you see here is what I put together last evening. I generally cut out my square fabrics and then add the little papers that I put together and glue them on with a water-based glue so they'll come off easy enough. Oh, I knew there was a reason I didn't want to use that. There's no pattern on that one, so I'm not too sure where it's going to go, but I'll put it aside for now. Well, I wanted to move the paper around a little bit there because I wanted the flower to be more precise, more in the middle. And now I'm going to baste. And I'll baste that all the way around. I've done some glue basting. I don't like it as well because it makes the edges really harder to sew through, at least for me. Today, English paper piecing is more than just a method, it's a connection. A thread, if you will, between what was present and what was past, between your hand and your heart. And here I'm using a slightly larger needle because my old eyes don't want to see it, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time here this morning just to thread my needle. But I got it together. And I'm going to go round and round and round. So now it's time to connect it. I knot it and it's finished. Let's just have a look and see how that one came out. I don't think it came out as good as the two I did last night. I used a larger needle, which I didn't like. See how the flowers line up? So that's kind of what I'm going for. I specifically cut these so that I would have a flower not necessarily in the middle, but somewhere around there. It takes 6 of these to go around. I don't know whether I can show you where I'm going with that one. And the idea is to get them so that the flowers are sort of somewhat connected. Isn't that a pretty fabric though? Very, very pretty. And there we go. Well, thanks for coming along with me today as I did a little bit of paper piecing. The needle I used was bigger than what I would normally use, so my stitches didn't come out as clear as I wanted them. So I'm going to try going back to the smaller needle because then I can get better stitches and I'll put my glasses on so I can see better. But a couple of things just to point out as I was working on this one. There, see the stitches aren't really great, but trying to get some of the flowers and the flower bud caught up so that they match. That's my plan. And you may be wondering what the holes are for. I don't think I left it out. There it is. I use one of these little tools that are used for the knitting, hand knitting things. And when I'm done, I go in like this and help pop them out. It's just an easy tool to use. I could use a knitting needle, I could use a sewing needle and a blunt end, but that's what I use for that. What am I going to do with all of this? I have no idea. Also, in the opening scene and in the thumbnail, you can see the template I use on my printer. And then I take that copied, put it on a piece of scrap paper or grocery store shopping bag because they've got a good weight to them. So there's one. You can see I kind of ripped it trying to get it out. So it's white on one side, brown on the other. As in days of old, scrap paper. So that's a shiny flyer that came in, or it was in something. It says 1/2 inch, so it could have been just about anything. I haven't poked a hole in that one. I've also used file cards, small ones, index cards as well, because they're kind of nice and stiff, right? So I use whatever I have around without having to buy more. Here's another one. See, with the back and the front. Actually, that's the same one. Ha ha ha. So by the time you're done and you've taken all those papers out, you're not going to see through it. Like right there, you can see the holes. Well, that's not going to be there. And then there'll be a backing, right? So whether it's a table runner or a bed quilt or whatever, this is a work in progress. And I've been working on this specific project for almost 2 years, 2 years this summer, I think. And the only fiber that I bought, or the only fabric that I bought was this green, because I wanted a green to do the path around the flower as well. And I bought an off-white to use as an adjoining color. But the flowers, that was all scrap material that the quilters had at the church, and they said, take what you'd like. So I did. I've also been able to find fabric at the thrift stores. This is another piece that I found. Aren't they pretty? But they're purple, so they don't really go with what I'm working on, but oh gosh, they're pretty. And if you follow me at all, you know how much I like purples. My needle size depends on my eyesight and the day. The threads, I'm using cotton, poly, Gutermann, whatever. So that's the cotton one. And you can see it's all kind of scrolling off there. And this one, 100% cotton. I do think I have as well. Oh, that's 100% cotton. I must have got 3. And it says quilting right on the bottom. Cotton, quilting thread. So I'm not using anything fancy at all. I'm just using whatever I've been able to buy on sale. I don't use a thimble. My fingers just don't hold it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this break from all the Tour de Fleece talk and all my knitting talk. So this is a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed a bit of the history as well. I was quite curious when I first started doing this, and then did a little bit of research today for you all. So let me know, is this something that you're doing? Do you enjoy hand piecing? I love slow stitching. I do sew with the machine. I haven't got it set up to use on a regular basis, but I do sew. I used to sew a lot before I started spinning, and spinning kind of took over my life for a while, spinning and knitting. So anyway, I hope to see you again. The next video will be the final prep for Tour de Fleece. So watch for that, along with a checklist to make sure you have everything you need and you're ready to go. But for now, I lift my glass of coffee to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Comment, do all the Facebook things. Facebook, YouTube. See, my brain's not there. How about that? Anyway, this is Doll from Doll Can Create. I know you can too. And until next time, may God bless, and may your stitches be tiny and invisible. Bye for now.